I'm 15 years old, and I've just gotten into wrestling tape trading. The first show I ever got was not the King of the Deathmatches. It was not the J Cup, although I did get both soon after. It was which either Bob Ryder or Zach Arnold were kind enough to send me for free. They were the ones who answered my litany of questions about Japanese pro wrestling on the Prodigy message boards. And rest in peace, Bob Ryder. They were both very kind to me. And one of them sent me, based on what the questions I was asking, the show that they thought I would most enjoy, which was FMW's 7th anniversary show from 1996, which features, to this day, my favorite match of all time, the exploding no-rope double landmine barbed wire death match between Mr. Pogo, Terry Funk versus Masato Tanaka and Hayabusa. And my brother is 7 years younger than me, and he had the unfortunate circumstance of being subjected to watch this tape with me over and over and over again as I became absolutely obsessed with pro wrestling. We're going into Thanksgiving, 1997, and I am watching this tape, and we are going to our family get-together at my grandparents' house, which was right across the backyard from my parents' house. And, you know, kids at family get-togethers, they bring their Game Boys, they bring whatever they're into. I brought my FMW VHS tape. I put it on in the living room. This is not like in the middle of football time. This is some downtime early on, probably, where we were the first ones to get there because we lived so close. And my grandpa was in his recliner, and he just loved it. I don't remember anyone else being in the room except for my uncle popped in. And he was a wrestling fan. He would talk to me about ECW, but he was the type that always needed to say, it's fake, right? He sees this site, and he sees this bloody match, and of course the first thing he says, the thing that every wrestling fan hates hearing is, the blood is all blood capsules, right? The timing couldn't have been more perfect, because at that moment, Mr. Pogo starts to carve up Masato Tanaka's back, much like we were going to carve up that Thanksgiving turkey. But he starts slicing into his flesh with that unmistakable sight of blood just pouring right out from the wound. My uncle turns white as a sheet, mutters something, I don't remember what, and just wanders out of the room. That day, Thanksgiving 1997, we wrestling fans won one, a big one, against the, it's just blood capsules, right, argument. A definitive win that day for us, my friends.
We thought we were all so cool at that age, those teenage years, me with ECW, you with these FMW tapes, that we knew underground counterculture stuff. We said to ourselves, we are cool. No one knows about this stuff. We do. And how timely is this with Dark Side of the Ring and FMW? Great call. I appreciate that. You knew stuff nobody else knew, and you wanted to let them know that you knew about it. You didn't want them to watch deathmatch wrestling. You knew that they wouldn't like deathmatch wrestling, but you wanted them to know that you knew about something that they didn't know. And you really won one over on your uncle because he knew that wrestling was fake, and you knew that FMW was a wild horror show. I was going to try to say masochistic? Listen, you get the idea. It was blood and guts, and that was proving it. It was spurting out of his arm, and they weren't using Hollywood techniques, and you could see from the night before the scar that was spurting out that night. So I appreciate this on so many levels. I would wonder, my question would be, is do you bring this up with your uncle years later? Did that leave an impression on him? Is that something he thinks about? Or is it just another instance where my weird nephew was being weird? Hey, thanks for watching. That call was part of a whole podcast called Wrestling Anonymous. Listen to the whole thing weekly. Wherever you listen to your podcast, go subscribe. And while you're at it, subscribe right here on YouTube to Colt Cabana's channel. Thank you.